Hey, I had a couple people ask how the DoDCFL system works. I can't go through the initial setup of the system because I did it back in 2005. But if you do a Google on a DLA DoDCFL, you'll probably get the instructions on how to do that. There's just a form you have to sign, and has to be also signed by your superintendent, giving you authority to act as the agent for your school. This is the DoD CFL DLA system. Um, in order to use it, basically I just log on and then go to the RTD section. And by the way, this is the speed that it works out on a good day. There are days that I sit there waiting for it. It's not super fast, as you can see right here, but it eventually comes up. So now I'm in the system and I can go and you can see computers for learning. I can go and do a search. I'm going to do a search for something that I already know is there because I'm going to take something. I know that because I get an email. Oh, by the way, you can set up this search criteria however you want and have it run every day and email you so you know if something came out. Okay, so this supply condition code is the condition that they're saying it's turned in at, and I will look at all of them for local that I'm going to drive to and inspect the equipment itself. But if I'm going to have it shipped from, in this case, Virginia, I am only looking at supply condition code A and B because that means they turned it in working order. However, I'm just going to give you a little information here. That doesn't mean it's true. I shipped a pallet of laptops from one of these locations, and they were complete and utter garbage. Out of 120, I mean, was it worth the shipping? Yeah, I still got probably 30 PCs out of it that I was able to work, but I threw away 90 that were 2000 and I'm going to say 6 vintage computers that were turned in as A, and they were definitely not. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. So I'm going to look at Fort Meade, which, by the way, services the CIA facility and NSA just for level 1 things, and it's not here yet. So the thing that I was looking for, which was told to me is by somebody that can see, he's military and he sees things before I do, didn't come out. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. You can say specifically what kind of equipment. I don't even select that. You can say that I only want to look at, for instance, I only want to look at laptops. I am willing to ship from anywhere, so I'm going to highlight them all. So I'm going to look at things that say include the word laptop, A or B condition anywhere, and do a search and see if there's anything that shows up in this search. I use this for both PCs and laptops, and you can see nothing showed up. So I'm going to go back and do, and honestly, I just took all the ones just last week that I found. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one, and I'm going to clear my search criteria. I'm going to, you can see it's still spinning here. I'm going to go ahead and do everything again. I'm going to just do A and B because I want to look and see what all is out there that people have turned in. I'm not putting any other search criteria in there to see what all is available right now that was turned in supposedly in a good supply condition. I will tell you that I've had condition H stuff that's brand new because some people that do the turn in don't know the condition codes very well. In fact, our CCTV system is running on servers that each had 210 terabytes of hard drive in them as our data backup that were turned in, and they were category H and they were perfectly fine. They took a little tweaking to get them to work, but that's all. So look, we can see that at, and if you don't know where these locations are, you can center click and say, okay, where is this one at? This one's out in California, which basically means if it's west of the Mississippi, my shipping is going to be high. Do I really want to get things from there? You can see the quantity. Many times these people put them in one item at a time, which means you're going to have to put your own time into them. If you don't see a picture, you can just hit the question mark and request that they take a picture and input it. And some of them, you can see these 8 flat panel monitors at Fort Sill in Oklahoma have pictures. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the pictures. Sometimes these pictures are ridiculous. Like when they take a picture of the sticker that is the same thing that is on the information. All that information that's on the sticker is in the search. But this place took a bunch of pictures of the monitors themselves. These was turned in as condition code A, DMIL code A. These obviously are not new. I do not ship monitors that are not boxed, because the one time I did that, they literally put them in a box just like this on the pallet, and they got really, really scratched up. So even if they are in that good a condition, unless I'm going to pay UPS to package them up, which I have done before, these aren't really worth my time unless they were local and I could drive to them and put them in my car real nice. That's different. Also, it's important to note, like with this picture, if the stickers on the back, they're really easy to take off. This person put this big, huge adhesive sticker on the front of this monitor, and that is going to make it, you're going to be able to get it off some Goo Gone, but you may have some marring on that one to do it. So you can see some of these are quantities of 1. These computer stands, quantity of 2 in Pearl Harbor. Obviously, I'm not going to ship all the way from Pearl Harbor. That would be really prohibitive. But you can see some of these. What is ADP supplies? You got to get them to take a picture. Sometimes that is the chargers that went with laptops. They don't come with them. But they'll put them in as ADP supplies, and if you go and say, hey, what is this? You might be able to get the chargers that came with those computers instead of purchasing them separate. And I'm just going to go down here and look at what some of these other things are. So this is the way a lot of computers get put in. Computer system digital. I love to see what the analog one is. It just goes back to a lot of the people that are inputting don't know anything about the systems that they're inputting. So that's what they put in. So this is a good example. These are some Panasonic handheld computers that you could go and look up whether you want to get that Toughbook tablet. And there are 5 of those available at Warner Robins, if I was so inclined, which I am not. And then we can see at Warner Robins, there's another 98 of these available at Warner Robins that are still apparently new in the box. If they were something I really wanted to get, I might go and just Google and look up the specs from this picture. I could pull the number off there to see exactly what it is. These ToughPads have SSD cards. They're 7th gen i5 processors in them. They've got 8 gig of RAM and looks like 256 gig hard drive, but it's an 8-inch tablet. I'm not sure what I do with them. So a lot of times I'll just kind of look and see what stuff is to see if there's anything I want in there. And sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're not. So this is a good example of some of these may or may not be in great shape. I may or may not want some docking stations. These are in Columbus, so this would be a short drive for me to go and pick up stuff. And I usually go and do a search. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do a new search here of just my local DLA, because many times you can take them, you go there, you don't have to accept them when you get there. So I'm going to do a clear search criteria, and I'm going to look at everything of every condition code at Columbus, since it's an hour and a half long drive for me to get there. And I will very often take the things that are in Columbus on the system and then drive there and inspect everything, and then some things I'll take and some things I won't. And so that's what the great thing about getting local DLA support is that you can look at them all, you can reject or take whatever that you've got. And there's a bunch of stuff here of various condition codes at Columbus. some really old looking keyboards that I'm not sure why somebody turned those in as condition code A. And that's the thing, if they were never used, they're going to turn them in as A, even though they might be, and I've gone and looked at them, really old PS2 keyboards or something. So you can see that there's a bunch of stuff. If I wanted these docking stations, oh, that's the keyboard. Let's see if I can look at the docking stations. That picture is unusable pretty much. Okay, so HP docking stations, I'm not sure what they thought somebody was going to get from that picture. And like I said, they're theoretically supposed to have pictures of everything loaded, and you can see basically they only go and load pictures if you make that request of them. So I might say, hey, I really want to know what these are. Can you upload a picture? And I have never had them not do that. And then I might go and take them. That's kind of a example. By the way, all you have to do to take them is hit the plus key to add them to your cart. I'm not going to take these, but I'll show you the process of getting those. You have to put in a justification of why you want them, and I just put CFL in, and they've never questioned that. That means I want them for the school. You, by the way, have to use them within a year. That's part of the agreement. So I could say I want 30 of these, and I just put CFL in, and then I hit save to my cart, and I can add up to 50 lines in my cart. It says 50 items, but it really means 50 lines of items. You can have well over 50 items in your cart. I just took 200 laptops from Virginia. So this only counts as one item in your cart, even though there's 30 of them. And when you're done, I'm not going to do it. You just hit checkout, and then it says how many days are left in the cycle. So there's 2 days left. So this cycle ends at the end of this week. So it ends on Friday. And then Monday, I can come back in the system and see if I got things. So when I come back in to the system and I go to CFL, it shows me the stuff that I was awarded, and then I'll contact them. So you can see I got awarded this 170 laptop computers previously from Virginia. And then I had to contact them and set up the shipping. And by the way, you can ship small items through UPS. Usually there's a UPS store that will go and pick up the material and packages it and ship it for you. But if it's as big as a pallet, you're going to want to use an LTL carrier. And I use freightquote.com. And it gives me quotes from all the different carriers that would do it and how much it would cost. And of course, I always go with the least expensive one, which on this side of the Mississippi has almost always been Pitt, Ohio, which has been pretty reasonable and easy to deal with. For instance, these laptops were in 2 pallets, and it cost me approximately $500 to ship 2 pallets of laptops that were all $2,000 laptops. They're still under warranty till 2028, but didn't meet the new military specs, and they had already purchased them, so they turned them in. And that's it. That's how the DoDFCFL program works.